Yes, Villa fans, we're back and we are here to preview Aston Villa versus Brighton at Villa Park on Wednesday night. Before I do get into it, guys, just want to remind you we do have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or a shirt of your choice. All that you need to do is hit that subscribe button, and we are getting close to the next giveaway, and we do that every 500 subs, so don't miss out. Corey, how are you, my friend?
I'm not bad at all, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm obviously a bit disappointed with the draw at Bournemouth, but in hindsight, I'm not going to sit here and obviously we didn't do a post match reaction video to that. I'm not going to sit here and berate the draw because I don't particularly think it is a bad point in hindsight, especially after the Liverpool losing late on against Manchester City. I think it was more so the performance was quite disappointing from me, and especially certain defending from a French left back called Lucas Digne. I was very not impressed with the way his controller just switched off. But anyway, let's park that one to the side now. Let's move forward. What are your thoughts ahead of Brighton?
I mean, we've said it for the last few weeks. Every game's sort of like a must-win at this stage, but this is now. There's nothing other than a win. Like you say, Bournemouth in hindsight, a point's not the worst result when you consider how poor we were and probably didn't deserve anything from the game. Liverpool obviously dropping points means that we've still got that gap on them, but this game now is massive. Obviously, Man United play on Tuesday, so we'll know before that game whether Man United are above us or not, because they can go above us if they win against West Ham, which is another massive step. And so we just have to win. And the way Brighton are performing at the moment, we've got to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, you mentioned how Brighton are performing at the moment. They've only picked up 8 points in their last 10 games, and away from home, they're currently sat 15th in the away form table for all season, and generally they've got 31 points. It's a good job they picked up a few points earlier on in the season, because they would have potentially been in a relegation battle themselves. Obviously, they're not completely out of it right now. Like, let's be realistic. If we beat them on Wednesday night and West Ham do us a favour and go and beat Man United, which isn't out of the realms of possibility. And look, I know Manchester United are playing very well at the moment, but West Ham United need to pick up results, and they need to pick up them fast. And they're playing quite well at the moment. West Ham, they're one of the most informed teams in the Premier League. So if they do that, it closes the gap then 25 points to Brighton. And when they are in free fall, it could be quite worrying. And the fans, I've read online from quite a few people that they're kind of turning on Fabian Hertzler, which I was quite surprised with. Really, I thought he was he did pretty well there last season, and he's a young, progressive manager. But clearly, the fans aren't happy with whatever's going on at Brighton.
Yeah, definitely. I think I read it was something like 1 win in 12 as well. Obviously, I know you mentioned 8 points in 10 games, but 1 win in 12 just really not. It's a sackable offence for most managers. It doesn't matter what league you're in. And like you say, you mentioned some of the key games that are down there. All of us, Chelsea and Man United, are all playing sort of relegation-threatened teams. Obviously, like you say, Brighton are a bit further out of it at the moment. But as you say, if Leeds go and beat Chelsea, I don't know if they're playing. I think it's tomorrow. If Leeds go and beat Chelsea tomorrow and West Ham go and beat Man United tomorrow, all of a sudden West Ham move to 2 points behind Brighton, and Leeds go above Brighton if Brighton don't beat us. So it's going to be a tough game, I think. Listen, you've mentioned about obviously fans turning on Hertzler, and you said to me before the podcast, I think they've basically said this could be his last game if he loses. And I think normally that can go one or two ways. The players will fight for him and try and keep him his job, or if he truly has lost the dressing room, a la Gerrard style, we'll just go out and batter him, and they won't care because they want him gone, sort of thing. Which, for Brighton, it's always risky losing your manager at this time of the season. You never know what's going to happen. It can either benefit you or really go against you. So,
yeah, I very highly doubt Leeds will go and beat Chelsea, to be honest with you, at Stamford Bridge. If it was at Ellen Road, I'd probably be a bit more. I would definitely back Leeds, actually, to be honest, at Ellen Road. I think a night game at Ellen Road they just seem to win games, don't they?
3-0 at Ellen Road or 3-1.
They did, yeah. But like I say, Ellen Road on a night game is a very tricky place to go for any team in the Premier League. Liverpool is the one which potentially could slip up as well away at Sunderland. So we just need to do our job, win the game, and see where we are at the end of the match week, because we could be in a much better position. That being said, let's have a quick talk on the potential team Emi Martinez was fantastic against Bournemouth, so he 100% starts in goal. Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, and Pau Torres has to return for me.
I agree.
Thoughts?
I do think. No, I completely agree. I don't necessarily think Mings played poorly. I think Mings played quite well actually against Bournemouth, but I do think it is that issue. It's that issue of we've both said it. Emery didn't need to change both left-sided players. If you're going to bring Mings in, you can keep Matson there. If you're going to bring Digne in, you keep Pau Torres there. You can't be changing both.
Yeah, especially with obviously Ryan, and I know we've got differing opinions on Mings' contribution to the goal that we conceded, so we won't go too far into that. But I think Matson has to come back in as well after Luca Dean cost. I'm not going to... Anyway, because I could sit here and slam Luca Dean for that defending. It's probably one of the worst bits of defending I've seen from a Villa player in a very long time. But anyway, centre defensive midfield, it has to be Onana with Douglas Luiz. Obviously, that's our two. Right wing, Jadon Sancho, who again I thought was very impressive against Bournemouth. But I don't get why he came off the pitch personally. I don't know if he was gassing him, but I thought he was playing very well, and he was one of the Villa players. Second half, I don't think he affected it as much, but first half, I thought he was unreal.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the last couple of games he's looked really good. I know you also did a piece on TalkSport talking about it. If anyone hasn't seen that, make sure you do go over to Ben's TikTok and watch that because it's a really good piece. I do think he's been brilliant. And I think obviously he's a player who now is starting to come into his own, and Emery's seeing that. Emery's talking a lot more about him. He's getting more starts. For me, he's pretty much nailed on for a starting spot at the moment. I don't think there's any arguments about that. The only question is, you've got Rodgers there. Who's the other one? There's only really one option, annoyingly.
Buendia, isn't it?
It is.
As much as I say that through gritted teeth. Look, I love Buendia, and I think he's played his part this season, but he's been pretty poor, hasn't he, in a few games of late? And I thought he was pretty poor against Bournemouth as well. He got himself into a bit of like faff with Jimenez, which I don't mind as to a degree, but focus on the game a little bit, pal, and actually perform to a decent level instead of because I've seen it like when he was doing it. I think it was Ezri Konsa was telling him to like. I'm sure it was Konsa was telling him to
calm down.
Yeah, wind it in a little bit, and I saw Buendia give it like trying to not argue, but like give it back to Konsa, like just say he's not doing anything wrong. But if your captain's telling you something, listen to it and get on with it. In so many words.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the thing. I know you messaged me at the time when it happened, and you said obviously you didn't mind him picking up the yellow at the time because you didn't think Buendia was going to get a second yellow, and I completely agreed with you until he kept going. And I was like, it's like he's trying to get himself sent off. Obviously, the ref, like you say, the ref had to bring the captains over and say, lads, chat to these players. And it's just not what we needed in that game.
Mm-hmm. The interesting one, obviously, I think the rest of that we've nailed the 10 there. Ollie Watkins or Tammy Abraham. Ollie Watkins was absolutely dog shit for me against Bournemouth. I thought he was one of his worst games this season. But and this is where the caveat is. His record against Brighton, he always seems to score against Brighton. And it's like, do you bite the bullet and play Ollie Watkins? Or do you start with Tammy at home, let Tammy run them ragged, and then Ollie Watkins comes on with a bit more... Because I would still say Watkins has probably got a little bit more pace than Tammy. Is that fair to say? It's hard. It's a hard one, actually. I would say just about.
You know what? It's difficult because I didn't realise how quick Tammy was. I know he was against Jordan Henderson in that race for Brentford, but Henderson still had a good couple yards over him when he beat him to that ball. And Tammy was shifting a bit. So I think Watkins probably just edges it in pace, but I don't think it's as big a thing as we probably think.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because I'd imagine it's controlling a lot of the ball, and this is why I would think potentially might need someone like a Tammy, Fox in the box, someone who's going to who's going to get you a goal early on, and then like I say later on go for Watkins. But then it's hard to say, isn't it? I think he will go with Watkins personally. I find it hard to believe unless it's a Europa League game or an FA Cup game that he doesn't start Watkins if he's fit.
I completely agree. I think for me, I mention it quite often on these sort of podcasts, and hopefully at some point he does try it. If I'm honest with you, I'd love to see him just drop Buendia and go for Watkins and Abraham up top. I'd love to just see.
I'd be lovely. 100%. I'm with you.
I just think in a game like that where we need to win, go for it. Get your attacking players going forward. Sancho has been doing brilliantly, not just as a winger but outside, inside as well. When he's coming in and playing as a 10, he's been brilliant. Rodgers can obviously do that job as well, and I just think, listen, I know Buendia's got goal contributions this season, and there's no denying he's had a better season, but he's just been off it the last few games, and I understand Watkins has as well. I do understand that.
Is there a world where he goes for Bogard as the CDM, like as the defensive midfielder, Onana as the the more of a ball playing progressive midfielder, and then plays Dougie in a 10?
I would say probably not, just because I don't see Dougie playing as a 10.
Well, he did in the season that when Yuri Tillemans was fit before he left.
A couple times, yeah.
And he did a decent job of it as well. That's where he scored when he was scoring goals for fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Yuri played there as well, and there was kind of like a bit of a movement between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say, isn't it? I'll tell you what, I always say this, but predicting what Unai Emery does is like, yeah, let's get this bag here, man. So this is for my headphones before anyone wonders what it is. Let's put our hand in there. Let's fiddle it around and pull out what you could literally. That's picking an Unai Emery team. Like at times, like I actually got the team pretty much bang on, apart from Mings this weekend. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Sadly, I'm not going to be at the game on Wednesday night. Unfortunately, it's my wife's birthday, so you kind of have to put your you have to please the wife sometimes. Is what it is. So what's your score prediction for the game, mate? How do you reckon we'll get on?
I feel like we have to bounce back. I'm gonna say 3-1. I think we'll go 2-0 up. I think it'll be one of them scrappy ones where Brighton get a goal back and then we'll just kill it off towards the end.
It's a weird one, because Brighton's team, they've still got a very good team, and I don't understand why they're playing so poorly. I really don't. I'm looking at their side now, and Kadioglu's is a decent fullback. You know, I don't really know much about Buscagli, the centre half that they've got. I've not seen much of him play, to be honest with you. The lad they got from PSV. But then they've got still got Baliba. They've got Pascal Gross who's just rejoined the football team. He's a good player. Jorginho Rutter, Costulas, and then Mitoma. It's not a bad side. So a little bit of me thinks when you do see a team like that underperforming, it's got to be to do with the manager, hasn't it? Whether something's happened, he's potentially lost the dressing room. It does make you think, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%, yeah, like you say. They've got quality there. I mean, I presume, I don't know if he's fit or not, but I presume Van Hecke will probably play as well. He's a very good centre-half.
Well, he wasn't on the bench for him, and he didn't play, so I assume he was injured. I'm just going to try and have a look now to see what. 1 second, Van Hecke. He's injured, mate.
Oh, fair enough. So that's one down, but like you say, I mean, you look at the rest of the squad. Matoma's a good player. Baliba's a good player. Did you say Danny Welbeck again? Another good player, good goal scorer. So it is just, like I say, there must be some sort of breakdown between either the manager and the team, or.
He says his absence was due to a small problem with hamstring, and it's precautionary. So, but the thing is, with the Villa game being such a quick turnaround, there's always the chance that could spill over into our game. Hopefully it does, because I think he's probably their best centre half, and obviously Adam Webster's out as well at the moment. So it is Lewis Dunk who I fancy Ollie Watkins to get the better of every single day of the week, and I don't really know much about the new bloke, so I can't comment too much on him. Sorry. I think we win the game. I think we win the game 2-0, and it'll be quite a comfortable 2-0. I bloody hope so. Anyway, we just need to get back to winning ways at Villa Park. Obviously, after the Everton and Brentford game, which weren't up to scratch really. Bournemouth away, point. Decent. It's decent enough. The win against Newcastle, fantastic. I just think the way some Villa fans are leaving that Bournemouth game with a bit of a sour taste in their mouth because of the performance, and obviously 1 point isn't quite enough considering the Brentford result. I think if we beat Brentford and we went to there and got a point, and we beat Everton, and we would be looking at that now thinking what a point that is. We were in a fantastic position, but we just kind of slipped a little bit, didn't we, against Brentford and obviously against 10 men. I think that's the sore one really to take away. Anyway, I think we've kind of covered pretty much most things, unless there's anything more you want to discuss pre Brighton.
No, I think that's all, mate.
No, okay. So obviously there weren't many. We didn't really pick up any injuries that we're aware of. Obviously the press conference is this afternoon. Obviously this video will be coming out on Tuesday morning, and hopefully Unai Emery just feeds us the news that there are no fresh injury updates. Obviously, as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been, so we will see what comes out of the press conference. And on that note, if you've enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to hit that follow button, the subscribe button, and smash a like on the video. We've got a goal of 20 likes. And as always, from me and Corey, up the Villa.
Villa.